Hello everyone, this is Probable Loss, and I'm going to be bringing you BM Beatdown Episode 9. This is going to be between the blue Zerg Rufius in the bottom right and the red Terran Entropia in the bottom left. I don't know who sent me this game, so I have no idea who's going to be doing the BM, but I can tell, well, I can, and I'm going to. There are a few things that I need to go through. One, it's been probably almost a month now that I've done one of these, and one of the biggest reasons is because I just have a lack of viewers. Lack of viewers means lack of caring. Lack of caring means I don't do this. And really, if I had more viewers, I would probably do this more. Not only that, but I've been getting, pretty much half and half as far as positive and negative comments go. And most of the people are just mad because I'm bad at the game. So they say, oh, well, you're bad at the game. Why should you get to, say shit about other players? The difference is, I know that I'm bad. I tell people that I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm platinum. I'm pretty bad at the game. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm one of the guys you'll see put 8 drones on a single gas geyser and then wonder why he's getting no minerals. I'm that kind of player. I have no idea what I'm doing. So if you're going to write in the comments, you suck, tell me something new, I already knew that. So don't really need to hear that again. I'm doing this because I am not a player who goes in, calls another race OP motherfuckers, and then, just leaves, rage quits, whatever. I don't do that. Whenever I lose, I know that it's because I'm bad, not because the other person did something stupid. It's because I did something stupid. But another black Betty, bam bam, whoa, black Betty, bam bam, whoa, black Betty. Black Betty had a child, bam bam, that drone gone wild, bam bam, whoa, that drone, bam bam. Oh, he's gonna get in the base. Oh my God, black drone, bam bam, whoa, scout drone, bam bam, whoa, scout drone. He's up in that base right now. I can't go with the... he's gonna die, though. So, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the production tab, because the production tab is nice, because it allows us to see this. This is being built right now. We got an orbital command going on. We have some spawning pool action, some hatchery action. I'm gonna go down here. I am really not doing well with the map controls here. I'm also struggling to, think on my feet, can't talk very much, breaking out into song, having all sorts of issues on my own, let alone trying to focus on the game. Here comes Bama Lama. That SCV. Oh! Getting a bunker rush. Okay. I imagine this is probably where the BM's about to start. We got bunker rush going on, and getting back into the actual game, I'm going to do some real casting right now. One of the worst ways, at least from what I've seen, from what I've heard, people tell me, is that dealing with a bunker rush using spine crawlers is generally not a great idea, because bunkers have the same range as spine crawlers, and they're just better dealt with Zerglings, because Zerglings come out in 24 seconds and they're very good against Marines. Not that spine crawlers aren't good against Marines, but since spine crawlers are pretty immobile, Marines can just kind of run around the back and get them there, and bunkers can be salvaged. So you salvage them, run the Marines away, you don't lose any Marines. The spine crawler can't chase after them. The Zerglings can. And small numbers versus small numbers, the Zerglings usually do fairly well. It's not until you get larger numbers that the Marines start being favored. Right now we can see the Terran is actually transitioning into a pretty reasonable game. He's just going to get some hellions for some harassment. Going to be expanding, doing all sorts of normal stuff, while the Zerg is probably not doing all that well on income. You can see that the Terran does have 20 to the Zerg's 25, and a lot of people would say, well, the Zerg's right where he needs to be, is a little bit ahead, but really at this stage of the game, a Zerg wants to have a lot more drones than this. He was forced to use a lot of larvae on those Zerglings, and I do believe that he reacted appropriately. His big mistake was losing them all over here, because now, let's go to units lost. He has lost more units, and the Terran has actually lost less, despite having what most people would call a failed cheese attempt. And now the Terran player is in a great position. He's got 4 Hellions. He's going to be able to keep the Zerg on 2 bases when he is just going to be expanding probably in a few seconds here. Holy crap, my sound is loud. This headset is literally falling apart. The left earpiece just fell off of my face, brought the mic with it. I'm kind of distracted by that as well, like holding my left ear, keeping the piece attached. Rufius is really just going way too overboard with the Zergling production and is making buildings and not replacing the drones. He, not in a good position. He would need to devote 12 workers to getting all of those gases harvested optimally. So just not doing so well in general. Definitely something that I would do, having 24 drones and being like, ugh, I need all 4 of my gases right now. And then being like, well, why I not have minerals? I need them for things. Oh my. Hellions do not good damage versus queens, and I always enjoy watching 8 Hellions try to take down 1 queen, because it usually doesn't work out too well. That was, oh wait, 9 Hellions. My B, no wait, it's only 8. I know how to count. Here comes the 9th. But, okay, I'm going to go into detail a little bit here, getting some metagame crafting on. I guess this replay is probably about a month old, so it may not be up to the current metagame exactly, but fairly recent. Entropa barely has any defense on his base. If he were able to get speedlings or even roaches, mutalisks, something to send to Entropa's base, he could knock out quite a bit of stuff. And Entropa's doing something that I really like to see here. He's just going to repair his Hellions. A lot of people just let their Hellions die. Really not the brightest move that you can make, and actually has the blue flame upgrade. Probably should have been watching the production tab for that, but didn't see it. So you can see here, Hellions aren't all that bad whenever you have dozens of them and they're being repaired by SCVs. If I'm correct, he only lost a few Hellions in that engagement. Again, Rufius way behind in the resources lost, and was also behind in the income for a while there. And anytime Entropa is going to be dropping a mule, he's probably going to be ahead of the income. The problem is he's getting, or, well, he's not getting, he's saving up a bunch of energy. Not sure if that's intentional or not. Wait, no. Okay, those words, they were bad. Just ignore those words. I'm having issues. This is my first cast since 1942. I know what you're thinking. Holy hell, you've been casting since 1942. I didn't even know they had StarCraft in 1942. And back then it wasn't called StarCraft, it was called World War II, and things were a lot more intense, and there were a little less units. It was basically just soldier, tank, and blood everywhere. It was a lot less pleasant back then too. People didn't like it as much, watching hundreds of... Wow, I'm getting really morbid. Where are those roaches? Found them. Nailed it. Getting them roaches. So right here we can see we have, 7 roaches versus 15 of these things. I can't remember what their names are. I know what their names are. Jeep buggies with flame on top, also known as the Hellion. Those roaches are like, ah, shit. Man. We done fucked up. Oh! Gets a creep tumor. Gonna be cleaning up lots of these creep tumors. Oh my goodness gracious. Rufius, the one thing that I could say that he was doing correctly was getting those creep tumors up, and he just lost them all because of poor roach placement. He should also be really working on roach speed right now. Pretty sure he does not have that. He doesn't have roach speed yet. If you want to use roaches to deal with all of these Hellions, you really need to get them to have speed, or get them in a choke like this and make them AI all derpy. But we're seeing Rufius do something pretty smart. He's just going to go mass roach, because his opponent is going mass tech. And generally, against tech units, the roaches do pretty well, pretty cost-effectively, especially whenever it's such a heavy and Hellion-heavy mixture. Heavy and Helly. That was really cute of me. Meow. I want to sing Black Betty again because that was probably the most intelligent thing that I'm going to say or do this entire cast. But we see these roaches moving on out. Lots of... Oh! That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Get out of there. You don't like that. Girlfriend, don't even go there. Entropa's going to be throwing down his own third base. Rufius still kind of struggling here. I mean, he's not so far behind in the income anymore, and he was ahead there for a little bit. What's really killing Entropa is this. I advise people to not do this. That is one of the things that I think I do well, is make sure that all my workers are spread out. But I can tell you right now that this is probably not going to break this. Well, actually, it might not do too bad. But let's check the value. Yeah, army size. His army is a lot more valuable, but I mean, this counters this giant ball of hellions right here. You can see how quickly they melt Zerglings, which is why you really don't go Zerglings against this type of play. And I mean, even though the hellions aren't that... Oh, okay. Here's what's going to make all of the difference for Entropia. These Marauders are actually going to be dealing very significant DPS versus these Roaches. I would actually be surprised if Rufius won this engagement, whereas before I said I would be surprised if he lost, although he's doing some pretty good running around and focusing down all of the bad things, and he's getting all of the Marauders. My god, he's going to clean this up with just pure Roach, I think. Oh, just barely losing that engagement, but he is going to be able to pump out enough Roaches to hold this off, I think. Just getting another Larva Inject cycle. A huge misclick is going to cost him tons of damage. Spawning Zerglings at the appropriate time. He's just doing everything right. Other than that major misclick. Now I can't say that he's doing everything right, but he was doing fairly well there. Still getting sort of screwed up with the rally point, losing a bunch of unnecessary Roaches, and the Roach AI causing them to go in for the attack. If we check the APM, we can see that Rufius is doing a little bit better than Entropia. I'm actually surprised to see that. It looked like his macro, I mean not macro, his micro wasn't very good, but Entropia just kind of A-moved in that major engagement, which really cost him quite a lot of his units that shouldn't have actually died. He may lose another Thor right here. That Thor is going to go down, and that Thor might have gone down as well had Entropia left his Roaches at the front. But now we have SCVs coming into the mix, and they are just roasting, well, the Hellions, I should say. The Hellions are roasting all of the drones that are coming in for the action. These Roaches really need to move up there. This is where Rufius falls apart. He just cannot keep up on the micro while trying to macro at the same time. So we're having some huge issues right here. Entropia might actually be able to do some significant damage. You can see that he's already killed plenty of Harvesters. The injects are still going off for Rufius, which is a major part of this engagement right here. Had he not been setting off those larva injects, it would have already ended. And now we can see a huge swell of Roaches going to clean up these siege tanks, or not these siege tanks, these Thor quite easily. And if you go back to his main base, we're probably going to see queued up things. Actually doing a pretty good job of not queuing things up. But what he isn't doing a good job of is spreading these out. Oh, that seemed balanced. Did it? Did it seem balanced? Because I saw, what I was seeing was 4 Thor and mass Hellions versus Roach. See, generally, whenever someone sends mass Hellions at me and I have Roaches, the Hellions just obliterate me. And, you know, it's just like, well, that was Imba. You being able to hold that off with reinforcements. LOL. That's supposed to be the strength of Zerg. Zerg is supposed to be able to reinforce immediately. So, this guy's pretty dumb. Doesn't know too much about the game. When I have more bases than you, yes, it is balanced. He actually doesn't have more bases than him, but his bases are functioning. We can see right here, oh, 1 SCV, functioning base. 1 SCV, functioning motherfucking base, son. And then we have all these SCVs right here. What are they doing? Union work breaks. That's always what I blame it on. And then he's dropping his mules at his natural because that makes sense. I really, like, this is all mind-blowing to me that people do this without, I mean, he's not thinking clearly And then people always bitch about being beaten by mass Roach. Well, I mean, it's the counter to mech. God forbid you try to build Ultralisks, because that never ends well for the Zerg. Although, I've gone Roach Ultralisk before, and it did pretty well. But I think it was because of the Roaches. The Ultralisks were just kind of like, well, die, and then they would die. So, really what I'm getting at here is, you can't build 4 Thor, then 15 Hellions, and expect to beat mass Roach. It just does not work. Roaches already do fairly well against Thor, let alone, you know, putting Roaches up against the unit that they're supposed to counter. So, I would say that the system works, and that Entropy is just a moron. Here we're gonna have a... I don't feel like doing this right now, so I'm gonna speed it up a bit. I'm gonna look for some more BM. I mean, that wasn't necessarily BM. That was just someone complaining. I didn't check this game. I had no interest in it because, quite frankly, I think I'm gonna get, you know, 15, 20 viewers on this video, and most of you are probably gonna bitch about how boring I am, because that's usually what happens whenever I put my balls out there and try to create entertainment. Let's see if it goes down, getting that mass repair on, because there's nothing, okay. Relax, okay, let's say, for nutsack's sake, I'm not saying this is OP, I am in no way saying that this is OP, but he's saying what's OP is that him using the counter to what he is building is OP, so that's OP. This, if building a counter to this is OP, then holding off a planetary fortress just by surrounding it with SCVs while this many Roaches hammers away at it, I'm just saying. But you don't hear him bitching about it, so that's all I got to say. Although I must say that he did a pretty smart thing here with the scans and the siege tanks on the land. And as you can see, this many Thor does pretty well against Roaches. The Roaches melting away, not doing all that much damage to the Thor. That seems balanced. Oh my gosh. One major issue that I think Rufius has is that he thinks he's further ahead than he is. Although he did just spawn a ton of drones, and Entropia, being the powerhouse of knowledge that he is probably not going to be smart enough to go out, kill some creep tumors, lay down siege tanks, and slowly bash through it. What he's going to do, okay, I'm calling it right now, what he's going to do is go headlong into this, get absolutely raped, and then complain for a while. Oh, dear God. Never mind, he's just going to get raped, like, regardless. In no universe is this going to go well for him. Is he actually going to chip away at these spine crawlers is the real question. The other question, how the hell is he dealing with this? There are some spore crawlers right here, so if the Vikings go to the spore crawlers, they are going to take some damage, which is pretty good for Rufius. Not too sure if he planned that or if he was just going for the detection. Got some Vikings over here, scouting out the place. Girlfriend. Girlfriend. Oh, girlfriend. One thing that I always thought was interesting was these have 10 range on their javelins, and these have 9.5. So Thor are actually fairly, well, not fairly, they're decent against these Broodlords if they're clumped up. But what's not decent against Broodlords is Thor that are firing at unclumped Broodlords. What's also bad against Broodlords is dead Hellions. Really any ground unit for that matter. It's not, you know, it's not that good against Broodlords. What's also good against Broodlords is more Broodlords. If you have more Broodlords than the other person, then good job, I guess. I don't know. Why are you guys looking at me for clever things? Normally, you guys just hate on me. I don't even do anything to you guys. All I did was blow up Planetary Fortress with a bunch of Broodlords. That's a lot of Broodlords. This is when I really wish that Broodlings were in the Units tab. Because there's at least a lot of Broodlings. So I really hope there's more BM, or else I just kind of casted a replay and, you know, did it for nothing. And really, I just kind of stumbled through this like a drunken moron, and I apologize for that. I mean, it's slightly because I'm drunken, slightly because I'm a moron. It's hilarious. It's not that funny, but it is funny at the same time. Totally forgot that I had on too. Broodlord Corruptor is like a Warcraft 3 unit combo. Don't let me get it then. Fair enough. He did do some aggression. No other race has something as brainless or overpowered. There's the nice Hellion Thor that is a move, which exactly what you just did, so that was nice. That was absolutely and 100% brainless, and you lost because, again, brainless, and the guy had a brain. I'm gonna break it up for a minute. Brainless. What is brainless? I would say brainless is doing something that requires no mental thought, like getting a bunch of Hellions and Thors, while completely ignoring the fact that your opponent is going for Mass Roach, which you've scouted earlier, and then saying 4 Thor and 20-some Hellions should be able to take out Roaches, knowing damn well that Roaches are amazing versus Hellions and decent against Thor. That's brainless. Want to know what else is brainless? Is building 4 Vikings and expecting it to stop this many Corruptors and this many Broodlords. That's brainless. Another thing that's brainless, having 80 SCVs on this while there is nothing on this or this. That's also brainless. What's smart is mining this out at a reasonable pace, this out at a reasonable pace, this at a reasonable pace, that at a reasonable pace, getting saturation here, here, teching up to your T3 units. I know Terrans generally only get Thor as their T3 units, but battle cruisers, although I guess battle cruisers shit against those, so never mind. Just get more Vikings. You knew the Broodlords were coming. You were almost lost. You made like 40 Zerglings and about 50 Roaches. You did make a lot of Zerglings at the beginning, but, I mean, the problem with that is you didn't capitalize on it. You left him completely alone. Had you attacked it, I mean, there were multiple timings where had Entropia attacked, he would have been fine, and now he's like bitching because he doesn't know what to do. Have you played any other race than Zerg? I have mained all 3 races in my time, and I can tell you that he's a Diamond Terran on the US. I have no idea what league of play this is. If I had to guess, I would say like Platinum. I mean, they're doing goofy shit that I would do, but quickly, I guess. I'm Master Zerg on us. Why aren't you playing the Master Zerg? They are brainless. See, and that's the kind of, like, BS lie that people tell whenever they're, like, being dominated. The guy who tells me, as I play Zerg, he is Master Zerg on the European server. I say, oh really? Well, I will play as Protoss, which is the race that you play. PvZ is so hilarious with mass roaches. Whatever. The whole like thing that you should be catching here is that this guy's a moron and has no idea how this game really works. It takes more to win PvZ than roaches now, you realize. I mean, unless the opponent was an idiot and never, like, got Colossi, then sure, Mass Roaches used to win. I mean, I just don't understand some people's thought processes. Can I have your name on the US? Okay, I would say 100%. Oh, same name. Okay, let's see. I would be willing to bet that he's like, but you know, it's just I've been smurfing, so you know. And there's some Master Zerg records. I seriously doubt it. Is that GG? That game? That is game. That was the BM Beatdown. Bam, son, I didn't get to finish saying what I wanted to say, but it don't matter, cause I'm tired of this shit, and I can't stand stupid people, but I'm gonna sing my song, cause it's really cool.